Hi there. I am Gadok the Annoying, or in real life, my name is Peter. I started playing Magic with the Mirrodin block back in 2003, if I remember correctly, it was. And I've been playing Magic ever since. My first time I played Magic, I went to a local game store in Belgium, one of the biggest game stores in the country, and I met a guy with a suitcase full of cards and decks. And he asked me if I wanted to learn, and I said, "Yeah, why not?" And that day, basically the entire afternoon and most of the night, we spent playing Magic the Gathering. He taught me the basic rules. He taught me what decks could do back in those days. And I even experienced a few turn one infinite combos. I witnessed the Power 9 and everything like that. So that was how I got acquainted with Magic. And after a long night of playing Magic, I ended up getting from him a big box of cards. Basically, he bought me a Mirrodin booster box. He bought me all the starters that were available, all the packs that were available for the Mirrodin block back then, and he said, "Here, have fun, enjoy the game." And I remember walking home completely amazed and in disbelief that I'd just gotten a gift like that from a man I had met just that day, and I never saw him again, which is actually a sad thing. I did promise him back then that if I ever met other people who wanted to learn the game or young kids, and I saw those young kids were in trouble because someone tried to take advantage of them, that I would help out. And I've actually taken that to heart during my entire career within Magic and within the game. I'm not a pro player. I never have been, never will be. I did start my own league. I did become a judge for a while, and afterwards, I went to university. I finished university, went to live alone, started a job, didn't have as much time as I used to for playing the game. So I started to go a little bit more into just playing the game, having fun with some friends, hanging out, and enjoying the game. And that's how I got to where I am today. So right now, I'm married, starting a family, have a wonderful wife, and I find myself not playing as much as I used to. I really enjoyed playing it back in the days, and now I found myself playing maybe once or twice a month in a local game store, and that's something I've missed playing with all those friends and comrades out there. So being home a lot of the time, I spend some hours every once in a while playing on Magic the Gathering Arena. With COVID hitting in 2020, yeah, we had to stay home a lot. Couldn't really go out and play anymore. So that's ever since then I've been playing. But I have been keeping one thing in the back of my mind. I don't want to invest in the online card game in Magic the Gathering Arena, at least not any money, while I'm still investing money in the real card game in my local game stores. Having done so, I have found myself going to Platinum a few times, but I really want to see how far I can really go with Magic the Gathering and with Arena without putting in some money. And that's why I'm starting this journey of mine. I want to see what we can do with this kind of deck, with this kind of potential in the game without investing money. So I'm hoping you will join me on my journey and that we'll see how far we can get. I'm just right now playing one of my standard decks. It's an Insidious Roots deck with some fun little interactions that I can play, and I enjoy playing this deck very much. It's a pretty solid build. It works out pretty well. Um, I often play this when I'm just in the mood for one or two simple games, or when I have a little bit of time, because it's a really solid deck. It's a strong one. It works very well the way it's built. It's not a combo deck. I'm not really a combo player. You'll notice later on that right now I'm not playing any blue decks whatsoever. The reason for that is that in the local game stores where I play right now, I'm playing a commander decks, and most of the time I'm playing blue. I have been a pretty strong control player back in the days. I still am a little bit of a control player. Oh, he just gave up. That was okay. So right now I've decided to share this journey with you guys and ladies and whoever else is playing out there. As you can see right now, I have a lot of commons and uncommons available for trading info cards. I have only one rare. I have a little bit of gold. I've decided this week that I'm going to start just saving up the gold, as in a couple of weeks the new set will come out and there'll be a standard rotation. Just to give you an idea of my decks right now, these are the decks that I'm running with. I have Journey 1, which is an Insidious Roots deck. Just played that one for a second. Um, Standard cards like Ichor Drinker, Snarling Gorehound, Haywire Might to deal with artifacts and enchantments, Bubble Belt Maverick, which gives me a nice interaction with the graveyard together with Ichor Drinker, Willow Geist, which will profit from all the graveyard interaction that I've put in, Blanchwood. Basically, this is my mana fixer a little bit. He brings in consistency because when I mill 3 cards, there's a good chance there's going to be a land in there, the land I can always use. And at the same time, he's going to fill up my graveyard with creatures which I want, because Insidious Roots will interact with those creatures. Combine that with a Willow Geist that will interact with any card coming out of the graveyard, means that Blanchwood Prowler and Willow Geist really work well together, because even bringing a land back still triggers Willow Geist. So that's pretty nice interaction. I got the Soul Cauldron. I found her to be very useful, especially against blue players. There are a lot of cards with flashback and disturbing effects like that. If you can take them out of their graveyards, they'll lose access to those cards. At the same time, you can use the Cauldron for your own creatures, especially when you have a Blanchwood or a Haywire or even a Snarling Gorehound or a Willow Geist. If you have them in your graveyard, you can just exile them with Agatha, boost your own creatures, and trigger Insidious Roots or trigger Willow Geist. Voldaren Thrillseeker, again, you can play her hardcore, or you can just get her into play and get her effects into play thanks to the Soul Cauldron, which basically means you show up with a machine gun at some point in the game. Um, Gloom Shrieker's card I've actually been experimenting with a little bit now, and I really enjoy this card. It's a card that isn't as powerful in power and toughness as you would expect for a 3-mana card, but as I do have a lot of cards going into the graveyard with Blanchwood, with the Planeswalker Tivar, sometimes I want to get those cards back. Having a Gloom Shrieker bring them back is really, really nice. And again, has nice interaction with both the Insidious Roots and with the Willow Geist. And with something like a Rubble Belt, I can Surveil twice. I can Blanchwood will mill 3 cards. Cards like that will put them in the graveyard, and then I can bring them back from the graveyard with the Gloom Shrieker, triggering Insidious, triggering Willow Geist, and bringing the card back into my hand, which is really nice. Tivar is the last non-land card in the deck, and it's actually a Planeswalker that not only provides me with a lot of consistency, also provides me with mana acceleration when Insidious Roots is on the field, because I can actually activate those plant tokens at instant speed. Even though they have Summoning Sickness, those abilities don't have Summoning Sickness anymore, and that's a really nice thing to have, because once we get going, I can sometimes mill 2-3 cards in a go, and then suddenly trigger Insidious Roots 3-4 times. Add in the ability to untap one of my creatures also gives me access to extra mana in the later games. For example, with the Gloom Shrieker, if I have a Tivar out in the field, I play a Gloom Shrieker, then suddenly I've got a lot of extra mana available. So this is the basic deck, very basic version. I have very little removal. which does make it weak against mono red decks, but at the same time, I really enjoy playing the game with this deck. It's low to the ground, it's consistent, but it has a few drawbacks. Yes, it does. I just played it, so let's play the second one here. My second deck is a little bit of an experiment. It's very removal heavy. To be honest, I have not on my watch. Long Goodbye. Then we have a Sheldred Edict, Lightning Helix, Gix Command. I can discard the Carnosaur, or I can just play a Virtue of Persistence. All removal spells, some of them instant, some of them sorcery speed, but with the current format where it is, those cards really come in handy. And then I like to play a little bit around the Fortune Loyal Steed, as he has a pretty decent body. It's a 2/4 for 3 mana, which is really nice. You get a Scry 2, which is also very nice for your consistency. With only a saddle of 1, you get access to a lot of options, and those options in this deck are Nisumi Informant, which is a 1/1. Whenever it enters, an opponent discards a card. You can use it immediately to saddle Fortune, which basically means you get to discard 2 of your opponent's cards, and you still have your Scry as well. Then, of course, you have the Charming Scoundrel, providing you with 3 different options. I really am a fan of this card. It's a 1/1 for 2 with haste, but you can discard a card, draw a card, consistency. You can create a treasure token, mana acceleration in red, and you can create a wicked roll token attached to target creature you control. Do that, for example, in combination with a saddled Fortune, and then you bring the Charming Scoundrel into play. You put the token on it, you exile it, it comes back. The moment you exile it, your opponent gets 1 damage. Plus, you have the attack from the Fortune Steed as well. And you get the Scry 2 from Fortune coming back into play as well. So it's a really nice interaction with those 3. Another one is Hostile Investigator. It's a card that's been showing up quite a lot in games, both in local game stores as well as online, because it's a really solid card. It's a 4 mana for 3 body. When it comes into play, opponent discards a card. Whenever whenever one or more players discards 1 or more cards, investigate. Even though that investigate is just once a turn, it's still access to card draw, and combined again with a Fortune Steed. Well, let's be honest, you can just keep on milling their hand and just cleaning their hands out. Gix, just removal. Most people know this card. Trumpeting Carnosaur is a card we've been seeing quite a lot as well. The fact that you can discard it for 3, deal 3 damage to a target creature or planeswalker, that's really handy. If you can keep it until the later games, it's a 7/6. And if you look at my deck, it will hit pretty much my entire deck. So there are only 2 other cards that won't be hit. One of them is the Phyrexian Fleshgorger. Usually I find myself playing this card for just 3 mana, and then with Fortune Loyal Steed, I'll exile it, put it back into play, and then I paid 3 mana for a 7/5 Menace with lifelink. That's pretty decent. And then of course the Virtue of Persistence. Again, creature removal, which is always useful, a little bit of life gain, which is also very handy at the moment. And if the game turns out to be a longer game, I start bringing back creatures. All creatures have come into play abilities. The Charming Scoundrel come into play. Nisumi come into play. Fortune come into play. Hostile come into play ability. Trumpeting Carnosaur also enters the battlefield. So all of them have come into play abilities. This one just comes back into play as a 7/5, which, let's be honest, that's a really nice deal. I have found myself playing a Charming Scoundrel, discarding this one, and next turn bringing it back with this one, just to save the mana for it. So this is a really nice deck. I've added in 2 Seats of the Empire as well, just to have a little extra removal, because I found I don't really need that much of the land in game, I usually have more than enough. The same with Demolition Field. There are a few cards out there you want to get rid of. There's a few land cards. Getting rid of them and fixing your own mana base at the same time. That's a pretty decent card for an uncommon. I can just use it for colors as long as I need to. The moment I need to fix my color or the moment I need to deal with an opponent's land, that's when we play it. So let's try this in a game and see what happens. So today I have one quest, play 30 black or green spells. The deck we just looked at had a little bit of black. Should be enough to warrant the play. So we're just gonna go here. As you can see, I'm still in gold rank. A few days ago I was still in bronze. So we're just gonna have a little bit of fun here. My main goal right now is to see how far can I really get. So during this journey, I want to look at the different options and cards, see where I can go, and can I get to Mythic, yes or no, without putting in the money. I think it might be possible. It's going to be a challenge a little bit, but I do enjoy a challenge. Right now, I am seeing a difficult hand to play, but I'm still going to keep it. I have 4 removals available, 5 removals available. I have 1 scry. I'm going to play that one first. It's not what I need. It's mana, but it's not what we need. I was hoping for something else. There we go. That's a better choice. Let's go with the Surveil first. He hasn't put anything on the field. Yeah, let's keep it. I'm going to keep it for now. We're going to see what he does. He's probably going to go mono black. That looks interesting. Yeah. So right now, I'm just going to go keep it calm, see what he does. Right now, I don't have the creatures to do anything. I do have some options here. I can just deal with Obliterator. I was expecting something in that direction. I'm gonna put the Demolition Field on the battlefield, and that's it for now. So, right now, we're still not pulling any creatures. There we go. That's the first one. Let's see what he does. Yeah, let's do that. So I have my black. It's only one at the moment, but we're gonna draw into it at some point. There's a good chance I won't be using my Demolition Fields here to deal with anything he's got. I'm gonna let him get that one. I don't really care. It still costs him 2 cards. So 2 cards for a 1/1 creature, I'm pretty happy with that. Especially with all the removal I still have available. He still has to discard his cards, so we'll see what happens. I'm pretty sure he's not happy about it. There we go. It's a land. We're going to end the turn and then we'll see what happens. So I'm a little surprised I still haven't pulled any creatures. I'm also surprised that he doesn't really seem to have any either. Let's keep that one on hand right now. There's no reason to play it. Just an extra removal I can use if he has something powerful. There we go. That is a little bit annoying. That's something we're in trouble with. Now, right now, I can't really do much except for play this land, and that's it. Now he's going to bring back his 1 creature, which he's bringing back that one. I can live with that. Resolve it. Let's discard this one. That's fine with me. Now that's a little more annoying. Let's see what happens here. We can't really do anything about it right now. Yeah. So let's draw a card. Yes, there we go. There's not much we can do about that. So all we can do is that's a better choice. We're going to blow up this one. Yes, he can bring it back, and yes, it's going to cost me a card. But I'm pretty sure he won't bring it back because I'm going to do something else. Yep, there we go. And then we're going to tell him to get rid of the Sheldred as well. Right now, we're being backed into a corner simply because I'm not getting the creatures. I'm not getting any creatures here. He's getting me to discard some things again, which is quite annoying. Okay, now we're in trouble a little bit. We're in a little bit of trouble here. Yeah, I don't really seem to have a choice here. I don't need that. I can use that, but it's not what I need right here, right now. Let's end the turn. He's gonna bring something back. This is power 7. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt pretty bad. So it looks like he might have got me here because it just took too long to get my creatures. There we go. He's gonna bring that one back as well. That's not a good thing. So it took too long for me to get any creatures out on the field, which is it's the first time with this deck. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna play this one. Just get rid of this one once and for all. Yes, it's gonna cost me some life. I don't really care. Better it cost me some life now than having it come back. Come on. Let's see what he does here. I'm not really sure what he's planning right now. If I can get a swamp into play, I might have a chance, but I'm pretty much cooked at the moment. Like I said, I was pretty much cooked. Best thing we can hope for is this. I'm going to do this one. Might seem like a stupid idea, but I do have a plan with it, though. I'm going to go for treasure token. You can blow it up. It's okay. It's fine with me. I don't really mind you blowing it up. Because I'm going to take your Sheldred anyway. And I'm going to take your Sheldred and blow it up as well. Auto play. So he's back to where he started. He's going to bring back one of the creatures. I don't really care if he's bringing back one of mine or one of his. If I were him, I would know exactly which one to bring back. It will be his Sheldred or his Obliterator. Either of them are still in the graveyard. There we go. No, we're screwed here. We are screwed. We don't really have the cards that we need right now. That's kind of annoying, but we're not going to attack. He probably has us now. I was pretty sure a few minutes ago already that he had us, but I'm not the kind of player who likes to just give up. Not as long as I know there's a chance I can beat him. You know what? I'm just going to take this one. There we go. It's still blocked, which is nice. So I'm pretty much out of options. This was my last one. He has me now. So we're just going to say good game to him, and then he can finish it off. So I didn't really get the creatures I needed. I didn't really get anything I needed right this game. So this was a little bit disappointing. So as soon as this game is over, we can try one of the other decks and then see what that does. So I started the hand a little bit risky with just 2 colors. I was hoping to have an ability to get the third color in there, but I didn't because he was just playing mono black. It's a deck I've been seeing it for a while now. It's a solid build. It's a solid deck. I tried something similar a while ago, but I wasn't really convinced with it. It's not really my style. And to be quite honest, on Arena and Standard, I'm still looking for my own style. I haven't played Standard for the past, oof, what is it? Uh, 10 years, I think. So the last time I really played Standard was somewhere 10 years ago, and that was in local game stores. Nowadays, I'm more into playing. Let's play the same deck again. Nowadays, I'm more into playing Commander. So I have about 5 Commander decks at home, and I'm gonna play every once in a while. And like I said, I usually play about once or twice every month nowadays. That's the disadvantage of being married and having a family and everything. So yeah, you can't go to the local game stores as much as you used to. That's okay. I I enjoy the life at home. So here we have a completely different hand from before. I'm still gonna keep it though. I'm gonna say hello to our guest opponent here. Um, I'm not sure it's a good hand. I do have some mana. I can do quite a lot of things here. I'm going to do that. There we go. That's actually not a bad start. That's actually not a bad start at all. So I could have gone into Charming Scoundrel here, but I actually thought this was a better choice because I have an extra land. So next turn I can play the Swamp with the Demolition Field, put in another Informant. Then I can put in a Charming Scoundrel. And there we go. Still no creature for my opponent. That's interesting. So we do Charming Scoundrel. Let's take a treasure token. We put in Informant. Yes, I'm wasting a treasure token, but that's okay. Right now I have the cards to play wide, so I'm doing that. Depending on what I'm going to draw next turn, it's probably going to be the Seat of the Empire together with a Hostile Investigator, or Charming with Sheldred, depending on my opponent. So my opponent's playing that. That does change things tiny little bit. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, let's keep pressuring him. I'm going to take away one or more of his cards. I think that's a good choice right now. Also gives us access to draw a card next turn, which is what we want. There we go. We can attack again. Slowly getting there. It's not as efficient as I want it to be right now. But to be honest, I know this isn't a competitive deck. That was okay. I was expecting that. And I can actually live with that. No problem whatsoever. We're going to put the seat down. I know it was a removal, but I don't really need it at the moment. I'm going to remove this one. No way I can counter it anyway. And let's just... Let's just go all in with the attack right now. We've got a few options here in the turn. So, in his turn, we can either remove one of his creatures, we can deal with one of his lands, or we can draw a card depending on the situation on the field right now. In this case, he gets a creature. He gets 2 creatures, which is pretty nice. But that's okay, we can live with that. He can't attack. I guess they have summoning sickness, so let's see what he does. I'm going to draw the card first. Let's see if we can't get our hands on 2 removal spells. No, we don't. That's okay. That's okay though. So I'm gonna put in the mountain. I'm gonna, yeah, let's do that. So I still have 4 mana available. He could maybe counter me right now, which is, that's okay. I don't mind him doing that. I'm gonna discard a card and draw a card. I have a land that I don't really need right now. There we go. That's interesting. So we have 1 removal that we can play, and we can make him discard a card as well. I'm gonna have him discard a token as well, which will weaken his other creature. And let's just attack with all. Reload to the ground, he can block 1 of them, still gives him 3 damage. Yes, I lose a creature, but I can live with that. He's still at 6, so he's going to use his net again to deal with something. There we go. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Now we're in a little bit of trouble. So, let's see what he does here. Let's see what he does. He does nothing. Okay. Let's start by drawing a card. I want to see what we can... resolve. Let's see what we can do. There we go. So he has 4 creatures, and they're gonna hit hard. So we're not gonna attack him this turn. We're gonna end it right now. That was what I was hoping for. Now we're gonna take out 1 of his tokens, which is gonna be useful. No, his net is bugging me a little bit. I know what card I need, and if I catch it, if I do get it, then it will be nice. I'm just thinking it's not in this deck. The 1 card that I really like playing right now isn't in the deck. It's in a few of the other decks. It's a removal for 3 mana. I can remove artifacts or deal 3 damage to all creatures and planeswalkers, but if I remember correctly, I didn't put it in this deck. So let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. So he gets 2 more creatures, which is quite dangerous. Three of them can attack. Question is he gonna do it? Yes, he's gonna do it. So, step number 1, let's get rid of 1 of them. Good. And then let's get rid of this one. Let's see. Did I put it in the deck? No, I didn't. Okay, that's what I needed to know. So let's get the black one. Let's see what else he's gonna do. Yeah, that's okay. Then we're gonna block 1, 2, 2 blockers. 1 gets through. Demolition Field is not what we needed in this case. So in this case, it's pretty much a good game. Just attack one last time and that's be it. So yeah, and then good game and the turn, and he can finish it off here. So I'm just gonna let him resolve this one. So as you can see, still tweaking everything. So good game, my friend. So as you can see, during the journey, we're going to have to improve our decks. We're going to have to work on some issues. The decks I'm playing right now have brought me to platinum quite regularly, but not beyond that. So let's see. The card I was missing, I can actually show you. So in here you'll see I have only one card I could have used for a little bit of a board removal, and that would only have been if they were power 2 or less, which they're not. The one card I was actually looking for, and I have it in most of my decks with red, is Brotherhood's End, this one, which would have dealt with the entire board state. So yeah, that was a little bit of an oversight. I can put it in here. I can actually put it in here if I want. Gig's Command is a card I rarely use in this deck, so that's already 2. And then maybe, let's see, one Long Goodbye, and maybe another, let's do this one, another Lightning Helix. So if I take those 3 out, we can put in a Brotherhood. And I'm putting in 4 straight away. It's board removal for small creatures. It does a lot, this card. And I was actually surprised I didn't have it in there. So my third journey deck is this one. It's going to be the last game for the day. Maybe the second to last, we'll see. Again, very heavy on the removal. As you can see, cut down, Sheldred's Edict, Long Goodbye, go for the throat. Very heavy on the removal there. Brotherhood's End standard in there. Virtue of Persistence in there. Except for that, Squee, because he's just obnoxious. He keeps coming back, especially with all the removal I have. Filling up my graveyard with 4 cards really doesn't take that much time. Urabrask, if you're playing against a blue control player, this card really does a nice job. If you can get one onto the field, it's constant pressure for your opponent. He cannot ignore it. Laughing Jasper Flint. It's a nice card. I'm experimenting a little bit with it right now. It's a 4/3 for 3 mana. It's a nice body. And the ability to start playing cards from your opponent's deck without having to worry about the color. That's really nice. And then Vile Smasher. It'll just eat away your opponent's life points every once in a while. Not so much of a threat, but they will use removal to get rid of it, and it doesn't really hurt your deck if they remove it. Judith, I'm testing her out right now. It's a card I'm not really sure what to think of her right now. I like her abilities. I'm just not sure if she's worth 5 mana for it. The ability to give one of your spells Death Touch and Lifelink. There's only one card in here that would be interesting. That would be the Brotherhood. And I have done it in the past, giving it Death Touch and Lifelink when I was up against someone with a lot of creatures, especially the mono white humans and soldier decks. Those are really nice to have a Brotherhood combined with her. And then creating a 2/2 imp creature. The 2/2 that deals 2 damage whenever it dies actually hits home quite fast. I found it to be a very productive card. When I get her out, problem with the 5 mana is usually my hand is starting to get a little bit empty by the time that she comes out, which is why I'm only playing 1 at the moment. So let's try it. Let's see what happens. And already we're at deck number 3. Again, black and green, I'm playing black in this deck, so we can do that. All these decks brought me to rank gold in this week, so I can easily get to gold with it. There are a few in there that I know can bring me to platinum. I haven't played them yet. They're gonna be showing up in the next couple of movies, but right now it's a matter of just showing you the decks and getting off to a good start. So I'm gonna save up the gold coins that I get. Whenever I get packs, I'm just gonna open them, start saving up the cards, the wild cards we can use later on. So this is a pretty bad start. Definitely got a mulligan here. Um, 2 land, if one of them had been black, I would have taken the chance because I would have had the removal. I don't now. So we don't really have a choice. We're going to keep this. That's a lot of nice removal. And this is going to be a little bit controversial for some people, but I think this is the right choice. Oh, that's nice. So we're not in a color problem right now. Looks like we're in a good situation here, good spot. Okay, he's playing 3 color controls. It's going to be a tough game here. But let's see what happens. If I can get the forge out. If I can successfully get the forge out, which I can't. Okay. If I get the forge out, then I'm really happy. Because then we're off to a solid start. Question is he gonna allow it? Let's see what we're up against. Pretty sure he's gonna counter this. Yes, there we go. But that's 1 counter down. He's probably gonna have 1 or 2 more. Let's see if we can't get them out of his hand. Because if you can get the forge down, that's like a timer. It's like a clock that's gonna start counting down for him, and it's just gonna get worse. And he doesn't play the colors with a lot of solutions against artifacts once they're out there. So he does have the white, which could work. And I wouldn't be surprised if he had 1 or 2 cards in there that would deal with it, but let's see what happens. So we want to get rid of a few more of his counters. So let's play Squee. There we go, that's another one. Good. Now there's a good chance that he's already won the game. Knowing this deck, knowing the strategies of most of the decks playing those colors, it's gonna be a really tough one. I have to be patient. I have to hope to draw the right cards next couple of turns. And he's probably gonna play a Planeswalker at some point. There we go. So let's push out another counter. Come on, I know you have it. Yes, you do. There we go. Next. Alright, that's red. Demolition field. Let's just wait. It's okay. Resolve. So now he played that card against me, which is annoying. because that makes it a little harder for me, but he's not going to counter that. But I'm not going to take the damage anyway. Let's blow up one of his mana colors. I know it comes into play on tap, but that's okay. It's still one color instead of three, so there we go. Interesting. And now we are where I want to be. So that was actually quite interesting what he did there, because he's tapped out now, which gives me the chance to do this. I'm just going to blow it up as well, that's fine. Good. That's okay. I can live with that. I still got 2 long goodbyes. That means I still have an option next to combat. Good, that's another removal spell. Let's see what he's up to. No, you can't counter it, my friend. You can't counter it. Alright. I'm going to take the risk here. If he doesn't counter it, it's another card. If he does counter it, it's something else. He doesn't have a counter in his hand right now. Okay. Alright. Resolve all. There's nothing much I can do there. Next to combat. There we go again. That's fine. End the turn. Let's resolve that one as well. 2 attackers. Let's force one of his counters. Doesn't counter it. Good. That's interesting. Next to combat. There we go. Resolve. That's fine with me. End the turn. So this is a long game. Yeah, that changes things a little bit. So we're just gonna deal with this one. Now a second land would be useful. An extra land here would be nice. It's not the one that I need, but okay. I'm still gonna take the risk here. Let's destroy all the artifacts. Let's see if he has any more counters left. If he does, too bad for me, then he probably wins the game, but if he doesn't... All right. So that's a good game. So as you can see, he's using the Forge against me, which is a solid strategy. There isn't much I can do about that. He's played a good game. He's played a really nice game. Destroy target permanent. So there we go. Good game. We're pretty much out of the game now. So it's 9, and I don't really have anything in my deck right now that can deal with the situation anymore. So as you can see, all I have here is this card, which isn't enough, and then he'll just deal with it. Memory Deluge as well, why not? So yeah, a solid control. There we go. A solid control deck, pretty much what I was expecting to see. A lot of control, keep the pressure on, use your opponent's cards against him, use the Emperor to get creatures out on the field and just keep your opponent's field empty. That works pretty nice. So yeah, congrats to my opponent. He did a good job. So yeah, that was my first couple of decks. As you can see, not the end of the world, but it's fun. Um, I'll be playing a lot more games during the next couple of weeks. So that was it for today. As you can see, we can still play one more. Let's play one more, but let's focus on the colors that we need. So we just played number 3. Number 4 is a landfall deck. Let's play that one. It's a landfall deck built around Aftermath Analyst, basically, and I try to bring her back with Tivar when it goes into the graveyard, and then I can bring out the heavies pretty early on in the game. So let's try that. It has all the colors that gives me my bonus. So let's play it. Standard Journey 4. We have 6 in total. We might as well just play number 4 today as well. I still have a little bit of time. So let's see what we're up against this time. So as you can see, I'm not spending much time on deck building with you right now. Right now I'm just showing the basic decks that we're going to start with. Next video probably going to be the same thing. We're going to see mostly what kind of metagame we're up against at the moment, and keeping in mind that in a few weeks the rotation is going to happen. Whatever new deck I'm going to work on is going to be based on what I see in the games that I play, and I'm already going to filter out the cards that are going to disappear next week. So looks like we're up against mono red. Let's see what happens here. Now he's probably going to boost his Swift Spear. Oh, no, he's not. Okay. In that case, I want to get rid of the Swift Spear first. Yep, you can have that one. I'm fine with that. I am just fine with you getting that one. End the turn. So right now, we're not in the right position to play the Brotherhood, so let's just deal with this one instead. That's the advantage of having a lot of removal in your decks. Yeah, let's take the risk. Let's take the risk. It's a 1/3. It's not perfect in the situation, but with the forest in, it could get interesting. Okay, he blows it up. That was pretty much expected. But if I get a Planeswalker, I can bring it back. If I don't, that's fine. There are 3 more in there. It still took out one of his burn spells. There's the haste. Okay. So, not what we needed. Let's end the turn here right now. Let him go to the attackers. 2 blockers. And 2 damage. Let's take those 2. I can live with that. So that means he doesn't really have anything useful in his hand. That changes things a little bit. Let's deal with this one first. And then end the turn. So we have the Carnosaur. As soon as I get one more red land, I can put it into the field. Another red land would also mean I could use the Brotherhood. I'm 2 lands away from the Virtue of Persistence. So, yeah, I'm going to give him that damage. I can live with that. There we go. Now that's more like it. Let's mill 3 cards, and let's bring back the Aftermath Analyst. There we go. Now that's what we like. Makes it a little harder for him to burn it. That means he now probably needs 2 cards to burn that one, which is better than just 1. There we go. I can live with that. Fine. Yes. Good. Yep. Okay. Now we're in the game. Ooh, nice. Really, really nice. But like I said, not enough to take out my Aftermath Analyst, which is exactly what we wanted. So, activate ability. Should keep me alive for another turn. We need 1 more black. We need at least 1 more red. And let's bring in another red as well. Yes. So we're back at 8. He can probably burn me for 4 or 5, maybe even 6. But we should be safe. So right now we have 9 mana out on the field. That gives me the option to play Tivar with Trumpeting Carnosaur or Brotherhood with Tivar. And it's probably going to be Brotherhood with Tivar. There we go. 2 damage, but I can blow them all up now. Yes, we can blow them all up. So first we're just going to blow up everything because we like blowing up stuff. And then we're still at 6 mana, which isn't enough for mill 3 cards. We bring back this one. We still have 3 mana. Let's keep it at that for now. I was keeping it for something else, but let's deal with it now. Good. So, time to deal a little bit damage back. Not much, but it's all I need. Stay alive. We're still at 25 cards in the deck. So we're going to end the turn here. Time to bring back some things. Let's start with this one. Only 1 creature? I can live with that. Let's just keep it the way it is. We can use the life gain. Let's see. Red is always useful. Let's activate this one. That's another life gain. Right now, we're starting to catch up with him again. We can take the last black one. Let's take another red one if we can. Yep. Green is more a support color in this deck than it is the main color, but at the same time, it's a really important color to do exactly this type of stuff. So getting the balance right isn't easy in this deck, but it works really well together. As you can see, I'm thinning out my deck pretty hard right now, but we're still at 17. That's good enough for me. Let's mill 3. You can sacrifice Tivar, that's not a problem. Let's bring back the Aftermath. I'm gonna mill again. It's probably the last time I'm gonna do that. But we now have enough blockers. If he tries something fancy, I still have my Aftermath. It will give me a lot of life again. I have the Virtue of Persistence, which is going to bring back another Carnosaur, or I can just bring back one of his cards. I think the Carnosaur right now would be a better choice. I'm backing him into a corner. He got me down to, what was it, 5 or 6 life. Now we're back at 13. Next turn I'll be back at, let's see, I think we'll be back at somewhere around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8. So back to, that's another 2021. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, let's just do that. Activate the ability, bring us back to 17. He's pretty much. So we don't have anything left. We still have our heavy hitters, which I enjoy. So we have one more Carnosaur in the deck. We have 2 Koklas in the deck as well. So we've got 3 heavy hitters in the deck as well. We still got a little bit of removal. We still have some land, but all of them are search lands. But we do get to do this, which is really nice, because now I have an extra creature. Let's play it. Let's play it. Let's just get rid of his creatures. He only has one, but let's get rid of it. Yes, nice. Now we can go to combat. Let's just attack with everything. Yeah, and let's end the turn here. So we have 9 cards left in the deck. It's not a lot, but considering what we're up against, I'm pretty confident this is going to work. We're not there yet, but right now we are holding the nice cards. We have the card advantage. I can bring back the Analyst, getting me more life once again. So if I need the life, I can still do it at least once. Even 2 times I might be able to do it, but I would prefer not doing it. I have the... let's let him resolve that. 2 damage isn't too bad. He's looking for a solution right now. There might be a solution in this deck, but he definitely needs to be able to block me next turn, which he can't. So let's just finish this off. Let's just play this one. Yeah, that's it. So next, all attack. Say good game to him, and that's it. So as you can see, some of my decks do actually work. This is a little bit of a landfall deck I've been working on. I've actually enjoyed making this deck and creating it. It's also my go-to deck once I start climbing the ranks, going to gold. At the beginning of the season, this is the deck I went to, because it's a pretty solid, consistent deck. It works really nicely, and it's been keeping me alive even against the mono red burn decks and the slick shot deck. So right now we have 3,000 gold coins here. I'm just gonna save it. Like I said, in about 2.5 weeks, it's gonna be the end of the month, and we're gonna have the new rotation coming out. So there's no good reason to invest any gold right now. Let's just keep it. We've hit our quest for the day. We could play with these as well. I might do that during the evening when I have a little bit of time. But right now, we're just here. So as you can see, I'm not playing limited at all. Not really for me. I do have a draft token, so I might be able to start something. But I don't really like drafting. It's never been my favorite game. As you can see here, I have a pretty nice collection. I'm not into Modern Horizons 3 because I focus mostly on standard here. I have I have some alchemy cards, but not because I bought the boosters, but just because, well, they show up every once in a while. I do go for mostly standard decks, standard cards right now. So Outlaws is at 89%, Murders 82, 89 for Lost Caverns, 91 Wilds of Eldraine, and so on. March of the Aftermath. Lord of the Rings, that was a set I played quite a lot. I enjoyed it during the period that I played a little bit of Explorer. But to be honest, the Bowmaster just ruins it a little bit. Now that they've changed the rules of the Bowmaster, changed the format a little bit, but still, I'm not really into that One Ring. I enjoy the books, I enjoy the movies, but it's not Magic the Gathering. Not for me, at least. So yeah, March of the Machine, really nice set. And then, of course, the sets that are going to rotate out shortly. Those are sets that I haven't played really intensely. I really do enjoy Kamikawa Neon Destiny. It's a set that I really, really enjoy. But yeah, it's going to rotate out. So you can see my focus has been on other sets. And I just enjoy playing it. As you can see, my collection is a little bit all over the place. I haven't played extremely much, so I still have a far way to go. But the advantage is the sets that are going to stay in the rotation, I do have quite a lot of cards there. So I'm hopeful that we can start building something useful. And you're always welcome to come up with suggestions. I also look at content creators online to see what they're up to and how they're playing it. And I enjoy to see what's coming up. But most of the time, I just look at what cards I have, and then I look at what I'm up against and facing, and I try to put the decks together. So next time, I'm going to be going into deck number 5. Deck number 5 is the deck I've been working with most of the time, together with my landfall deck. Again, pretty heavy on the removal. As you can see, a little bit of decent removal in there. I am playing a little bit around the Anthrax Quickmull. I enjoy that card. It's a nice card. It's a heavy hitter. It's usually a target for their removal spells. That's fine with me because honestly, it's not the go-to card in this deck. It works really well with Stormseeker, but that's going to rotate out soon. But what I really do enjoy is Squee and the Forge. Those are the real damage cards in the deck. Those are the cards that keep on giving. And my opponents, they can spend the removal on the Antrite, they can use it on the Stormseeker, they can use it on the Mosswood as much as they want. But that means less cards to deal with Squee, Urabrask, and I have burned down the house just to have a little bit more power in my board wipes, and at the same time having 3 small devils with haste that deal damage whenever they die. That's nice too. So yeah, as you can see, that's a pretty standard deck. No real evil tricks in there except for the fact that if this one is out in turn 2, I've had it out on the field in turn 3. If I can get this one in turn 3 without any problem, and I can get this one in turn 4, well, that's rather painful. And then if they don't have a removal, that's pretty hard. So, and the 6th deck is an enchantment deck, mostly enchantment. So with the classics, Kami of the Transients, Weaver of Harmony, Botanical Brawler, Jukai Naturalist. As you can see, some of those cards are going to rotate out soon. So I'm still playing it right now, but in a couple of weeks it's going to be rotating out, so I can't play that deck anymore. So I'm looking for new ways to actually use Calyx because I enjoy very much playing this card. Calyx is a really nice card to play, and let's see if we can't find a place for him outside of the current standard builds with him where Kami and Yukai and all the other cards show up, I'm pretty sure we can find something for him. He's a really solid card, and I think we can do something with him. It's just a matter of finding out. So right now, as you can see here, the journey build is empty. So at the moment, it's just set for standard, nothing in there. And let's see in the next couple of weeks, months, what we build. We might build a few things and then take it apart again and build something else. And let's see what we come up with. Except for that, I have one Explorer deck. Again, very straightforward. Built a little bit with Insidious Roots and Dina Soulsteeper in mind. Gaia's Blessing to bring my deck back, because I end up milling my deck pretty fast. So I want to just keep it coming back and coming back and coming back. And it works pretty well so far. It's been working okay. I'm not going to say it's a top deck, but it works okay when I'm playing Explorer. And then I have a small Brawl deck. It's in an early stage, as I don't... Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, well, we're just going to put him back. Let's put him back here. Where is he? Here we go. So, I like him. It's a 3/3 body for 3, with the ability to choose whenever you play a spell that has a choose mode. And there are a lot of spells out there that let you choose things. So I found it, it's an interesting deck to play. I'm not really sure exactly how I'm going to play it yet. I'm just experimenting a little bit, but it has some potential. I think it's just finding the right way of playing it now. So let's see what we can come up with. And let's just have some fun. All right. See you later, and see you next time.